training harder isn't always the answer. In this episode of the Midweek Motivation Podcast, I sit down with Omar, Olympic weightlifter, Yogi, and the creative mind behind the 6'3" Anomaly.
The 6'3" Anomaly, he's a little bit crazy. He likes pain, he likes to move, he likes to weightlift, he likes to test his limits all the time. And so it's not really a persona for me, it's actually a state of mind for me.
We talk about balancing intensity with intuition, using yoga, myofascial release, and a smarter approach to nutrition to stay healthy while also chasing performance.
Anything that you're trying to be consistent with, right? You gotta keep showing up.
Consistency is key, yeah. Discipline beyond motivation. Like motivation starts to dissipate at some point and the discipline just takes over. And it's when you realize you really do love weightlifting.
We also break down how we're both preparing for our next weightlifting competition.
When I walk into competition environments, it's like something switches on. When I get to comp, it's like the 6'3" Anomaly really comes out.
If you care about longevity, not just numbers on the bar, this one is for you. Join the 6'3" Anomaly and I on the Midweek Motivation Podcast, where we uncover powerful stories, practical tools, and fresh perspectives to help you grow, lead, and become the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Neale. Let's dive in. The 6'3" Anomaly, one of many titles that you have, along with aspiring yogi, weightlifter, and poet. What other titles were you before these ones you have now?
Well, the title before all of those was, I would call myself an athlete, or a basketball player is really the one that's most fitting. Actually, my roots is in basketball, so I started playing basketball from the age of about 5 years old, maybe about 6, and it kind of just blossomed into a lifelong, segment of training, you could say, because basketball turned into plyometric training without me realizing it. Actually, when I was young, I was obsessed with learning how to dunk. So
yeah,
that's actually where a lot of my athleticism comes from right now. It comes from all of the basketball training. I played other sports like cricket and some rugby, well, cricket actually is the other sport I would want to say that represents me the most. Like those two sports, and then maybe some running on the side. I did do some athletic training for 100 and 200 meters, but other than that, cricket and basketball is my base. Yoga afterwards, but that's
more of a new thing. The yoga.
Yeah, the yoga is only maybe about 2 to 3 years old. I think older, but yeah, about 3 years into yoga right now.
Oh, nice. Well, Omar, welcome to the Midweek Motivation Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Who is Omar and the 6'3" Anomaly?
Those are kind of two different questions. And they can be two different things. The person you're talking to right now, I'd say is Omar. But the 6'3" Anomaly is he's a little bit crazy. He likes pain, he likes to move, he likes to weightlift, he likes to test his limits all the time. And so that's kind of where that persona, you could say, though. It's not really a persona for me, it's actually a state of mind for me. When I get in the gym, it's like I want to be the best in that environment. And I know that my weight and my leverages don't always allow me to be the best, but I don't want that to be, I want to be known as somebody who was the best regardless of that. And so I see a lot of tall people who don't aspire to move perfectly. Like I wouldn't say they don't aspire to move perfectly, but they have a lot of limiting beliefs. And so it makes them deviate towards average, you could say, instead of above average or an elite level athlete, because there's still beliefs in their mind which is holding them back. And so I find, for me, calling myself the 6'3" Anomaly it's part of embodying a person who has no limiting beliefs, who is like, no, I'm going to achieve it all. I'm going to redefine what strength looks like. And Omar, on the other hand, Omar is who I turn up as in my day-to-day life. Like, the person you're talking to now is calm, it's docile, it's not really trying to tear his consciousness out of his skull. It's just, it's just relaxed in a somber state. Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe we can see the other persona perhaps by the end of the podcast. We'll see where we get to.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. When I get fired up,
Okay.
he like, when I walk into competition environments, it's like something switches on. I will train and I will never be able to access that level of intensity and aggression than when I get to comp. When I get to comp, it's like the 6'3" Anomaly really comes out and I'll get under anyway. Like, even if it's a weight I have no business getting under, in my mind, it's like, if I can pick it up off the floor, I can get underneath it.
Yeah.
It's a very different mentality. It's not a mentality I usually have in my day-to-day life, and I feel the switch. It feels like a literal switch where it's like, okay, I'm ready to die to get this weight overhead.
You got to keep going. It's such a psychological element. That
Yeah, it's
holds you
very
back.
psychological.
Like I remember like trying to like when you get kind of the next 10 or like even hitting say my first 100 clean and jerk, it's just like it's such a mental barrier. It took me so long. So many times just to like you just bail out of playing.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's a lot of psyching up. Even I had a 110 kilo clean and jerk attempt, not clean and jerk, sorry, just a jerk attempt. Yesterday, it's on my Instagram, and it was one of the few times where I actually felt fear again. Because for me, when I first started weightlifting, what actually drew me in was fear. Like not what actually drew me in initially to start weightlifting, but as I started to progress in weightlifting and I'd have doubts sometimes, I'd get to a new weight and I wasn't sure if I could push it overhead, but I felt like I had the strength in me. I felt like I should be able to. And it was this wave of emotions where I'm scared, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna go anywhere. So it's like I can feel the fear is like slowly dissipating, but it's still there. And then the weight's on my chest. And then from time I decide to move, if I have any fear, usually the weight won't move as much as I want. But as soon as I've moved it once, the fear goes, and it's like, oh, I can move it. And then I go for another attempt, and usually I can hit weights that I feel like I should be able to, because it's like, oh, it was just fear holding me back. It wasn't muscular strength. It wasn't my nervous system crashing or anything. I was just holding myself back mentally. So weightlifting is amazing for that. Yeah. I love it. It's my favorite thing. It is.
Definitely. Well, that is exactly why I brought you on the podcast today, because your passion and enthusiasm for weightlifting is like, I've never seen so much in a person like that. So it's really cool to see. And the way that you show that online is even better. What got you started in weightlifting?
So I used to do a lot of powerlifting. So, okay, let's actually go back. I used to do a lot of yoga. I say used to. I do a lot of yoga. And I was doing about 2 years of yoga before I got back into the gym. And so I built like a lot of flexibility and a lot of like different types, strength in a different area. And when I got into the gym again, my first instinct was, okay, I'm going to go powerlifting, because it's like yoga and powerlifting contradict each other almost. They don't contradict, but they contrast each other. And it's like,
when you think of it, it's like you see two different types of people.
Yes, you see two complete different types of people. So in my mind, I thought that's what I want to do, because it's like it perfectly embodies how I am anyway. And so the powerlifting made me feel very in my ego, I would say. It wasn't, I was doing squats, but I wouldn't squat to full depth. And through yoga, I'm used to being in my most like stretched position or most compressed position. And so doing the movement and not doing it all the way, it felt a little bit weird to my mind. But it wasn't really until I started trying to push my squat into the higher numbers, and I was doing like the 130 back squats, but I'm doing 130 back squats, and the form is, it's competition standard, but it's not weightlifting form. Yeah. And the weight just felt abnormally heavy on my back, and it felt like I was shaking, and I was just like, I don't want this feeling. I want to be able to feel like I can handle this weight all the way down, all the way up. And so I actually altered the training style while I was still powerlifting. And what pulled me out of powerlifting into weightlifting was that at some point during, I think maybe about 4 months into powerlifting, I used to see this Indian man, and he'd always be snatching. He's snatching the bar, snatching 30 kilos. It looked like the most impressive thing I had ever seen. I thought, why is no one else watching this guy here? You're doing a 100-kilo bench, but what he's doing is the most impressive. He's snatching, like he's doing an overhead squat with the barbell, like. And I already had a base of yoga, so it's like, it was even more impressive to me because I understood the type of strength you needed to do that. And it was just fascinating. And I got my yoga teacher at the time to break down the movement for me, because she's not an Olympic lifter, but she's got a good eye for movement, and she's very good when it comes to just like the human body and how leverages work. And so she broke down the snatch for me. And once she broke down the snatch, I got very invested into weightlifting, because the snatch just felt beautiful. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I call it my baby sometimes, because it's the first one I learned. And the way it felt when everything locked, the way the weight stacked perfectly on your shoulders, the way the spine felt perfectly in line, the way your hip just sat perfectly in its socket, and you felt like you were just one complete chain, and the weight, it's one of the most beautiful feelings for me. And I was snatching while I was still powerlifting. Yeah. As like break from powerlifting. So whenever I would deload her, I would just go and do some snatches. Nice. Yeah. And back then I could only snatch 60 kilos, like max 50 kilos. I could snatch kind of comfortably. And I would just have so much fun, to the point where I started to tailor some workouts. Like I made workouts where it was more Olympic lifting than powerlifting, because I wanted to kind of incorporate more snatching. And I've noticed also that the powerlifting made me very tight. It was a lot of like compression, and it made me have to do extra yoga to re-lengthen everything. And as soon as I started doing more snatches, it's like I got more flexible from doing snatches. And it was like, hold on, I'm lifting weights and I'm getting more flexible in the movement. So it was one of the most beautiful things for me, actually, because it was like, okay, I can just lift heavy weights in a way that keeps all my flexibility. It actually forces me into positions that force me to be more flexible than I was even when I was in yoga. So I've got access to certain positions that I had them in yoga, but I have the strength because of weightlifting. So
that's so cool.
It's I'm not gonna lie, yoga and weightlifting are like this right now. I know people don't see it, but watch, they're like this, 100%. They're like this, man. I honestly think that all weightlifters should have some sort of yoga practice, and not just like a flexibility, like where you're working on your perception, you're working on your balance, you're working on your stability. I do a lot of one-legged drills because balance is everything with weightlifting. Like if you're slightly off balance and you can't correct it, you're gonna you're gonna fail the lift. And errors always happen. You know, sometimes you're not perfect in the lift. Sometimes small errors throw you off balance, and so
or even injure yourself too.
Yeah. So a lot of the time, my whole philosophy with yoga actually is I train stability in yoga, so I'm stable in weightlifting, and yeah, that's pretty much it right now as well. All my breath work is to aid with weightlifting, because I don't like wearing belts, I don't like wearing sleeves or anything like that, and so I do a lot of breath work and work on actually containing the breath in the right areas, making sure it doesn't leak out into the face, it doesn't cause blood vessels to burst and whatnot. And they have you have three bandhas. I'm not gonna explain it, but you have Mula Bandha, which is like your root. You have Udayana Bandha, and then you have I don't want to butcher this one because the yogis are going to be watching this, but Jalabra Bandha. I'm not going to say this one. The yogis, don't, you know what I'm talking about. And so you have this is your root lock. It's literally like your anus and that area. And your glutes, and then your Udayana is your diaphragm and like the muscles, the musculature of your, you could say your abdomen and your transverse abdominal. It's almost like, imagine you breathe in and the musculature around it just locks in the air. It's like almost having a bubble in your chest. So it's like you have the air creating pressure, and then the muscles around it supporting it so the air doesn't leak out. And it's like it gives you a boost. It's like you have a fist in your stomach. And so sometimes when I squat, recently especially, that's why my squat numbers have started to fly. I've recently, it's like I've got a fist underneath me, and it's like it's raising up. But it's like you learn how to breathe into your diaphragm, learn how to contain the pressure just in where it needs to be, and then it raises the whole body up, and you get a lot of strength just from learning how to breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
So all those different paths that you're talking about through the body, and these different passages of airflow you're talking about, or different areas of the muscles.
There's different areas of muscle and fascia. So it's like your Mula Bandha would be like your glute complex. It would be let's say your psoas as well, so it will be your abductor, all of these areas as well. And it would be how they work as a chain to actually contain. So let's say you're not necessarily holding air in that area, but you're holding pressure.
Yeah. Okay.
And so in your diaphragm is where you're holding pressure, and then up here you're also holding pressure as well. But you can kind of breathe into those lower areas if you teach yourself how to. They call it diaphragmatic breathing, but there's another one where you can quite literally breathe into your balls. It's not literally breathing into your balls, but you breathe in such a way that you actually feel them rise, and it's like the air is what's pulling them up. It's not it's a very strange sensation. Yeah. It's something that has to be taught. I can't just, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain on camera. It's because my yoga teacher talks about it a lot, and so she's kind of instilled knowledge in me, and we go over it every now and then. And so, I've got some knowledge on it, but she would be the one that's better actually.
Yeah. What other areas have you found, say, from the practice or the discipline of yoga, that's transferred into other areas of your life? There's
this state in yoga where you're kind of trying to be in a meditative state, but it's all the time. You're not just trying to be in some crazy state. You're more so trying to have that state all the time where you're receptive, but you're relaxed. You're aware, but you're not too your awareness is not going crazy, so it can actually allow you to like just be more in tune with your environment. And so yoga really taught me how to calm down, how to slow down, how to breathe, how when I feel anxious to actually, the anxiety is good. You can feel the anxiety. Don't let it stop you. Let it move you towards your goal. And so yoga taught me a lot of that as well. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Yoga taught me how to live to a certain extent, because even the way that I eat now, I eat based on yogic principles. Now I eat based on other principles too, but a lot of them is 1 meal a day, and it's foods that aid your body at all times. So if your body needs certain proteins, then you go to the sources that have those proteins. If your body needs certain carbs, if it needs certain sugars, if it needs certain minerals, you're making sure that you're always getting those from those sources, and you're in tune with what your body needs, because your body doesn't need the same thing every day. I might need loads of fruit this day, then I might need more grounded food, and I might need more vegetables that day, and then I might need more starchy foods another day, and then I might need more foods rich in amino acids another day as well. So it's like understanding where what you're actually meant to be feeding yourself and when you're meant to feed it. So yoga, I'm still learning. I'm a student of yoga. I'm aspiring yogi, but I am nowhere near the title of yoga. Well, I'm very far away from it. Yeah, I'm very far away from it.
Well, I think you already shared some words of wisdom there.
Yeah.
I am learning so much right now.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you are. I'm always there to teach.
Well, in that case then, like when you started training weightlifting, especially more regularly, did you find that you had to source like more proteins from one area, or your demands of nutrition really you really need to focus on that fully again?
So I actually had my diet dialed in before I started weightlifting. I was already it was getting the right amount of nutrients from the right amount of foods. So I wasn't overeating all the time, and I was making sure that everything you eat is meant to come out of you, feel me? So it's like making sure that there's always movement in the body. There's never like stagnation. And so once I actually come into weightlifting, I found that I just needed to eat more of what I was already eating. I was already eating a lot of the right foods. Right. Naturally, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and like me, I don't have anything bad against meat. Like if people want to eat meat and all that, but I prefer to get most of my amino acids from nut sources. I prefer legumes as well. I go to chickpeas, almond flour, and just the trace amino acids that you can find in the vegetables and the fruits usually keep me in a good state. They keep me quite light, but my nervous system is very, very active. And weightlifting is a very nervous system thing.
Yes, yeah. What's your favorite or go-to pre-workout snack or meal? I'm sure you have something that's like, you know what? We got some heavy clean and jerk singles today. What is your go-to sauce there?
You know what? It depends on the time that I'm training, because I'll eat differently depending on time. If in the morning, if I have a morning session, I like fruits. I like to just stick with melons. You know what? Recently, I'll have one whole snowball melon, big one, before I go training, and
wow,
it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good, man. Sometimes it's pineapples. Usually in the summer it's berries, but in the evening, so I make these chickpea flour pancakes. It's just chickpea flour, almond milk, agave syrup, salt, cinnamon, and then I like to use chocolates like Hue and Omar, and yeah, sometimes
I've got the recipe as well.
I can give you the recipe. I know the recipe.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
I could. I like to make that quite often. Actually, I make that a bit more often than I probably should. But the chickpea flour's got the good amino acids, and it's got the leucine and all the other stuff that you need to actually make muscles. So I'm not really too fussed on that one. But yeah, man,
I'm so invested in this part of the conversation. Do you take caffeine?
No,
really,
no caffeine.
Is it like coffee?
No coffee.
Do you like the taste of coffee, but just taking away, or slash tea?
I used to like the taste of coffee. I grew out of it over the years. Yeah.
And tea?
I love tea, but not English tea. I drink herbal tea.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a lie, actually. Matcha has trace caffeine in it. Yeah. It's like a natural. It's like yes. So sometimes I'll drink matcha stuff, but I don't drink it for the caffeine. You know what I mean? I drink it for the taste. And so yeah, I like mostly herbal teas with me.
You're like 120% completely natural.
Yeah, literally.
Here I am.
Yeah.
With my sleeves, a couple coffees a day.
My whole philosophy is to live a completely natural life. My thing is, I want to be as close to my ancestors as possible, or as close to ancestral living as possible. And so we had loads of games, we had loads of practices, we had loads of things like weightlifting that maybe we didn't have the barbell, but people would lift up rocks, people would test themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And we didn't have aids, we didn't have gloves, or we didn't have wraps, or we didn't have belt. And
Hey, just a quick announcement before we return to the podcast. If you're someone who's been feeling a bit stuck lately, maybe you're switching careers, rebuilding your routine, or just trying to get your life together, I get it. That's exactly why I write the Midweek Motivation newsletter, where every week I share real, honest thoughts on training, mindset, and the messy process of figuring life out. Especially for guys like us, we're in our 20s and 30s, just trying to get ahead in our careers, fitness, and performance. It's short and it's personal, and it might just give you the push you need during the middle of the week when it's least motivating. You can subscribe using the link in the show notes below, or go to substack.com and search up Midweek Motivation. All right, let's get back to the podcast. Do you do much myofascial release through foam rolling or through like manual therapy at all?
yeah, I like to massage my hands and my feet. Usually, I like to go to the extremity. So if I'm going to be giving myself massages, because your fingertips and your toes is like, they're very important when it comes to your fascia. Your foot fascia and your hand fascia dictate like how you move, how you interact with the world. And so it's always good to just kind of make sure your hands are massaged. But when it comes to other stuff like myofascial release, I'm not gonna say anything bad about it because I shouldn't. But it's releasing the fascia in it's like temporary release of the fascia.
Yes.
It's not permanent
Yes.
release of the fascia.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's like, and sometimes, especially if someone's foam rolling in one area continuously, what can end up happening is that we create more tension. So you'll release tension in one area, but then you're creating tension here. You don't realize it because the fascia is one connective tissue. If you release one part of tension in the fascia, if you don't release it in other areas too, it's going to begin to pull on itself because it's like your fascia starts here and ends here.
Yes.
It's one connective piece. And so sometimes it's like, okay, we have to work on the whole system. And so I wouldn't say foam roll the whole body, but but really you should. Like if you're going to go down the route of foam rolling one area, you should foam roll areas that you think don't need releasing too. So you release tension across the whole body. But
okay.
with foam rolling creates a lot of compression in the body also. And so if you have little ailments, you can make them worse. That's why a lot of the time I prefer yoga to release fascia because it's focused on breath. And whenever you inhale, you expand the body. You create more space, and creating more space in the body is amazing. The body doesn't like to feel dense. If it's too dense, you feel, sometimes you get a block. No, sometimes you just feel muggy, or you're just in a bad mood when there's too much, when your mind is too dense, when there's so much going on in your mind is dense. If there's too much going on in your body, the body is dense. And so sometimes just breathing and allowing space into the body, it does way more than what people think, especially if you're breathing correctly.
Right. So do you think I should stop foam rolling my quads in my warm-ups?
You do it on your warm-ups.
Yeah, it helps me like mobilize. Like,
I mean,
session.
If it's helping you to get blood flow, I wouldn't stop doing it. But I would say find another way to help get blood flow to the quads as well. Like maybe.
So
you know what? Message me when this is done. I'm gonna get my yoga teacher. Tell me about like some of the stuff that you're dealing with, and I can help you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man,
really good. Yeah,
This is stuff that we work with all the time. I'm trying to get deeper into this. But my yoga teacher, this is what she does.
Yeah.
You feel me? And if I just say, oh yeah. The person who interviewed me, like, she wants some help. She's gonna get, okay, cool, I'll do it. It's all right.
Oh, fantastic. Well, because like I go for a monthly chiro session just
Okay.
for maintenance, just to make sure, especially with all these challenges.
Yeah, I would imagine you have. You know what? Thank you for saying that. I was thinking, there's no way your joints are holding up. You must be doing some massage therapy or something.
I will say, like, touch wood. You know, I've actually been pretty good this year. I mean,
that's amazing.
all I've had, and this is actually from weightlifting, it's just an old injury from my lower back just occasionally like flares up. But from the challenge itself, like, the body's holding it really well. I just go for maintenance just to make sure, like, is everything all aligned from a chiro perspective. And yeah, I mean, like, she knows that, my quads are tight in areas, and sometimes we'll get dry needling in the area, sometimes cut.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But it doesn't have to be necessarily there. It could be hips, glutes, especially. But like, I would, in my warms, I feel better anyway.
Yeah.
Foam rolling my quads. I used to do other areas of the body, like especially through my lats when they used to be really tight. But now I don't do them more because I don't feel they're tight. But like, trying to get myself into a better overhead position.
Yeah.
I need to, and for say cleans, need to have that thoracic extension. Otherwise, these foam rolls sometimes just if it's more of a stretch really rather than massaging.
No, I feel you.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Sometimes calves if I'm getting DOMs from running, but
You know what? I tried to foam on my calves one time. It was so painful.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. Right? Well, like, the calves don't want to be foamed on whatsoever.
yeah. So that's saying then, would you say for like when you're getting a massage, and
It's amazing.
okay, so that you would do sometimes.
Massages are amazing. Actually, I don't get any massages just because, I don't know why I don't get massages.
Yeah.
I haven't felt the need to get a massage yet. I think that day will come as I get deeper into weightlifting. Okay. I'm going to be like, you know what? Someone massage my back, please. Well, the legs are hurting, back's hurting or whatever. But massages are amazing, actually. If you can even get a specialist massage, you have ones that they understand the fascia very, very well, and they know how to kind of move their hands in a way where they like move the tension from the fascia and like actually release it, not like move it.
I had one of those before. Yeah.
Amazing. Those people there, they really know what they're doing with the body. Like those are the healers. They can touch you and actually like cause you to cry and stuff. Like I had a session. You know what? I'll give you a funny. It's a funny one. So my feet are very sensitive. I don't ever get foot massages. I got a foot massage, and after the foot massage, I started crying, broke down. Like maybe about half hour after the foot massage, I went off and just couldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
And I've had to ask, like, why? Like, why am I crying after the foot massage? Why do I have all of these thoughts coming up? And it's like, because there's, like, you store tension in your feet. If you've been on your feet all your life, or you've got a lot of tension stored in your body, it's in your feet too, because this is where your fascia starts.
Yes.
You feel me? Oh, you could argue it starts here, you could argue it starts here, but your fascia starts from one of these three places. And so it stores a lot of energy. And it was like, oh yeah, I've been on my feet a lot in my life. And so not just for like reasons that you've wanted, but when it's just like you've had to move because you've got to do this and do that.
Yep.
And so it was like, so it was interesting to see that you could actually get a massage, and a good masseuse will pull trauma out of the body, quite literally.
Wow.
So it doesn't happen to everyone. She even said that it doesn't happen to everyone. You have to be open to it. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm open to I don't mind crying if I have to. Open to all my emotions. Actually, weightlifting, I've cried more times in weightlifting than I have in my entire life. Weightlifting does something to my brain. It's like it pushes me to a place, and I'm like, I don't want to be here, but I want to be here. And I'm like, I don't know. The nervous system gets wrecked sometimes, and I can't regulate emotions properly, and it's just, I love weightlifting. It's one of the reasons why I love it. It throws my mind out of whack and forces me to find balance. And it's like, it forces me deeper into my yoga practice, because whenever I feel dysregulation in my body, I want to correct it. I don't want to be in this state where I can't function, I can't talk to people, I can't be this for my nephew or be that for this person. So it's like, no, I'd rather actually figure out a way around it. And so, because the fatigue is always going to be there. I'm always going to be somewhat fatigued from weightlifting. Yes. So yeah, the yoga does help a lot, man.
Yeah.
Yoga is one of the best things I've learned, actually. I'd recommend it to everyone. Every weightlifter out there, do some yoga. Find a good yoga teacher. You would never regret it, honestly. You never will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's something I want to take more of my focus for next year. Now that I'm done this quest of trying to do a challenge every month, that's not usually not me.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Just fired up.
The last few years, like I've been doing, something pretty crazy. I'll say, quote unquote. But it hasn't been this much. I guess that kind of just transferred to this. Like, okay, what can I really do to test myself?
Yeah.
And that was it. And honestly, like, it's pushed me probably more mentally and emotionally than physically all the time. Yeah, sure, it was tough, but like the body will heal. So it's just like
it's one of mine.
One last one this weekend, so over and done. But then after that, it's just like I want to put my focus back into more mobility, more like injury prevention.
Oh yeah, we see you on the weightlifting path more.
Exactly. Yeah. Weightlifting is like the focus here.
Yeah, man. You got some good numbers in experience, actually. See, you did a 190 squat the other day. A 190, deadlift.
I haven't done a 190 squat.
No, 190 deadlift, and like, I don't know if you realize, I posted like a 200 kg deadlift like 2 days afterwards, and I changed the caption because I didn't want to make it feel any type of way, but it was that 190 deadlift that fired me up, because I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna deadlift now. I don't usually deadlift, but I have to deadlift now. I see this guy do it, and I'm like, no, I want to. And it was just like, because in the past you told me that you see one of my things and you got fired up. And so sometimes when I look at stuff, I just like, I could just move now. I might as well just move. Sometimes I won't even have planned to go to the gym. I'm like, no, I'm going to the gym now.
Yeah.
So it's nice to always find people, even if it's just on Instagram, where you can just find inspiration off. And it's like, you know what? I see you do this, and this makes me want to move today. And it's, I love that. Honestly, I try to be that for other people. Actually, it's why I post so much. But I don't know if my posting has that effect or not. But
well, I think it definitely does. And
I hope so.
And if you feel like it doesn't, it definitely will. You know, it's just like with training, with yoga, with anything that you're trying to be consistent with, right? It's just like you just got to keep showing up.
Yeah.
And then
no, consistency is key. Yeah, trust me. I learned that this year. Actually, consistency is. It's the reason why I'm even in the place I am now with yoga and with weightlifting. It's just consistency, discipline beyond motivation. Like motivation starts to dissipate at some point, and the discipline just takes over. And it's when you realize you really do love weightlifting. I don't know. Maybe it's the same for you as well. It's like motivation goes, but something is pulling me here. I don't know what's pulling me here. And on the days I'm not being pulled, something's pushing me. Like there's something here for me, even though I don't understand it. So
yeah, I take 3 days off, and I'm like, I really want to throw a bar on my head.
I can't take 3 days off. I couldn't even imagine taking 2 days off. I had after my last comp, I went 2 months, just no rest days, just straight grinding, because I was meant to, so I deloaded, and then I was meant to peak for another comp November 16th in London Strength, but it filled out so quickly. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not doing that. But I was already kind of in a peak mindset. So I peaked, and then I ended up having a lot more time on my hands. And so I ended up just going, cool, I could just go gym every day now. And so I was going gym every day, sometimes twice a day. Yeah, I was burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
That's why I'm deloading into next comp. The December 21st one that you told me about, that I'm there, yeah. I'm deloading into it. Usually I'd be peaking or trying to hit new numbers, but I already feel that 110 and the 90 is there already. So
yeah,
it's just kind of getting rid of the fatigue so I can reveal those numbers.
Amazing.
But
yeah.
I'm looking forward to this comp, actually.
Yeah, me too. So for those who don't know, we're both doing a competition in Guildford, 21st of December. So you're deloading. I guess that's your intention. Is this kind of a stepping stone to something greater, or is it like you focusing on something really particular for this competition?
Yeah, I think this competition is a stepping stone to something greater. This is so this latter half of the year has been, I think this was my 4th comp. I did back to back. I did August 2nd, August 3rd, London Strength, September, and then this will be my 4th one.
Oh, so it's only the last few months you've
Oh yeah, no, only the last few months.
Yeah,
wow. I had a competition bug, and as soon as I started to feel like I was in competition form, like I could warm up and then still warm up for clean and jerk and hit max numbers.
Yep.
That's when I was like, alright, cool, now I'm ready to compete. And I met one of my friends, Josh. He's on the Welsh national team, and when I met him, he was just telling me just compete. Like, the form looks good. Don't worry about the numbers. Like, just go there. They're gonna be surprised to see someone like you anyway. You're like 80 kilos, you're 6'3". Like, they're not used to seeing people like you.
6'3" Anomaly.
Yeah, literally. So, I was just like, alright, cool, I'll turn up. Because I was planning on competing in June. It would be June next year.
Yep.
But I'm happy I didn't, because now this last comp is a stepping stone for competing the whole of next year. Like, I call it London Takeover. I'm just gonna every comp I can be in London, you will see me there. Yeah, you will see me there. Every single one. Maybe not every single one, but as many as possible. Yeah. As many as I can afford. If there's one a month, maybe one a month. 12
comps.
I don't know if I could do that, actually. Even me, like, that sounds a bit crazy. Maybe I could do it.
You could do it. I think you have to be really clear on your intention for each one. So maybe not everyone is like...
Yeah, you can't push everyone. Only a couple of them could be pushed. And then some of them, it's just going for 6 for 6. Some of them would be like, okay, I'm trying to hit new numbers. And others would be like, it will just be maintenance or...
mental discipline.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
That's actually what I'm getting from this comp, Guildford, because from London Weightlifting, when I went there for August 3rd, I was with my yoga teacher, and everything, like, I wasn't by myself, you feel me? And for August 2nd, before that, in Ealing, I was with my coach. I say coach, he's not my coach, but he's my friend.
Yeah.
So Josh. So, yeah, September 16th as well, I was with somebody. I was with my yoga teacher. Yeah. This is the first comp where it's like, okay, I'm going here, and I'm more in a lone wolf mindset than before. Like before, I had my yoga teacher kind of shouting out cues and helping me throughout training and helping me in my recovery and everything. But I've been doing this more myself recently because it was like, okay, going forward, I need to be able to do this for myself. I need to be able to dial in my recovery. I need to make sure that I'm always consistent with it when it comes to like certain areas of training. Like always doing accessory work, making sure that I'm like, I don't know how to describe it, like stretching certain muscles in a way to make sure they don't get injured. Because it's like I'll do certain things in yoga which is specifically so I don't injure my muscle. Yes. But it's like I don't always do that because it's long. I don't always do that, so it's like so it's just making sure that when you're by yourself, sometimes you fall out of habits. But this comp is more about discipline for me actually than anything. It's not about trying to get stronger. It's about staying disciplined, staying rested and recovered in the right way because I hate deload. I hate it. Like it's just boring. It's the most boring time of my program. Yeah, I'm moving weights at like 70%, 60%, and unless I'm actually tired, and even when I'm tired, 70% doesn't feel that much. I get bored. I'm doing this, I'm like, 3 reps. I might as well put 10 kilos on, and that's what I end up doing. Every time I deload, I end up going up by 10, 15 kilos, or I do this thing where I have physical deloads and mental deloads. And so I might come in and I might do a 100 kilo clean and jerk. But mentally, it felt like a 6. It felt like an RPE 6 because I wasn't grinding, I wasn't gritting my teeth, I wasn't channeling crazy fire. I just came in, lifted up the weight, put it overhead, and there was no like internal aggression. I found that actually helps me a lot recently. Like taking the aggression out of the movement helps me to save energy. Yes. Because the aggression takes energy too. Yeah. So, and then you can almost channel more aggression because you're saving energy. So it's kind of cool.
But would you know beforehand, like, mental deload, like, say a 100 kilo clean jerk, for example, would you go beforehand, like, hoping it would be like a 6 out of 10? Or would you do it, you're like, you know what, that felt really good?
I would have already planned the day that, okay, I'm going to go and do this weight.
Yeah. Okay.
But when I come in, it might be, I've gone and done a different weight. But I'll still, so this is where, okay, so it's like, I'll be mentally and physically deloading, but if I mentally feel better, I will technically still physically deload.
Yeah,
but like, mentally I'll, let's say, push myself away. That doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to, like, how can I explain it properly? So let's say the other day I went in and I was only meant to do 80 kilos, but I felt good. My body didn't feel like, I didn't feel like I was going to break a bone. I didn't feel like I was going to push myself too hard if I went up to 100 kilos. Yeah. And so I did. I only did 1 rep at 100 kilos. And it was like, I was still kind of physically in a deloaded state. And mentally, it didn't take more energy for me to go to 100 kilos than it did to do 80. So it was like, if mentally it doesn't take me much more energy to go from 80 to 100, then I'll just go up a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes physically, if I'm not like, and grunting and all that, it doesn't feel tough either. So that's kind of the best example I can give when I'm talking about mental deload and physical deload. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I think it plays a much more important role than perhaps you think, because like we discussed before, there's such a huge mental element for weightlifting, and your strength will fluctuate. Time to time. Your 1 rep max is never going to be like, oh, I have a 120 clean and jerk. Like that's going to fluctuate. Some days it'll be 110 if I'm really fatigued. Some days, maybe without even realizing, I can be a 125.
Yeah, literally. That's what it's like with weightlifting. It's so paradoxical. Yeah, it's the amazing paradox of weightlifting.
But that's why we love it, right?
It's taught me how to not. How sometimes you wake up in a bad mood. Sometimes it's like, no, go lift anyway. You'll hit the best numbers. I've learned to just wake up. Whatever I feel in the morning is not indicative of what I'm going to do that day. Yeah. Not whatsoever. And it makes you way more resilient. I'll come in on days when I'm like, I'm down in the dumps. I feel horrible. But then I'm getting like PBs. And I'm like, my muscles don't even feel good. Yeah. I don't even feel good. But yet the weight just moves. Yeah. Some days the bar just feels light. And it's just like, yeah, I've got you today. Don't worry. I know you're not feeling good. So I'll make the weights feel lighter. That's what it feels like.
No, that completely makes sense. My first 90 snatch, I remember that day, I was really pissed off. Yeah. And then my 120 clean and jerk, again, my first time I did that, I came off, I injured my back not too long ago. Oh. Like it was, like I had a tweak. And then I knew I attempted it that week because I was just feeling good. Yeah. Missed it, and I was like, I'm really, I know I can get this. Yeah. And literally a few days later, I hit it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's always those days when you're pissed off and you hit it and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm happy I did that now. I'm happy I came to the gym to do this because I would have never known. I would have just stayed at home and sulked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. I'm actually, to be honest, I can't wait to hit that 90 kilo snatch. Like, for me, the 90 kilo snatch feels like the 100 kilo clean and jerk for some reason. Like, mentally,
Big number, yeah.
just, I'm like, oh, the weight doesn't even feel the same. Yeah. Like when I can snatch 85 and as soon as I touch 90, it's like the weight starts moving differently. I'm like, this just feels like a completely different beast. It's like 110. I tried to jerk 110, talking about this again, but I tried to jerk 110. The way that felt, like the jump from 100 to 110 didn't feel like the jump from like 85 to 100. It feels heavy. It felt completely different to me. It's like, once I could do 85, 90 kilos, in my head I was already looking at 100 kilos. Yeah. As soon as I got to 100 kilos, I'm looking at 105. I'm not looking at 110. I'm looking at 110 like, damn, how the hell am I ever going to put 110 overhead? Yes. Until yesterday was the only time where I was like, you know what? I understand it now. Yeah. I get how this is going to go overhead. Because it's just like, just because it feels heavy doesn't mean you can't lift it. So
yeah,
there's left in that.
Thank you so much for listening to the Midweek Motivation Podcast. If you really like this episode, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating on Spotify or click that like button if you're watching this on YouTube. Don't forget, if you're interested in checking out the 0 to 1 merchandise, you can use the code CAM15 to get 15% off your order, and you'll be joining a community with people who are taking their first step in whatever venture they're in. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.